Hello and welcome to our fourth TextFabric tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to focus on a very practical task that will combine the different things that we have learned in the last three tutorials into something tangible. We are going to produce a little vocabulary list that will be sensitive to frequency, word frequency, as it appears in both the Old and New Testament. So let's get started. Here's our notebook for today. So one thing that I want to remind you all about is it's always good to once in a while run this command in your prompt or command line terminal because it will make sure that your TextFabric stays updated. So in my case, just copy paste this command into your command prompt. Copy. Here it is. Then you just run it and it will go through your TextFabric installation and look whether you have an update and that will be installed for you. Okay, so I'm up to date. The next thing is what are we going to do in this notebook? Here are the 6 steps that we are going to follow. Namely, we are going to run a TextFabric query first, then we're going to export. Basically, in that TextFabric query, we are going to look for all the vocab that we want. Then we are going to export our query. Then we're going to import our query as a pandas data frame, something that we have done in our last tutorial. And then we subtract out of that pandas data frame all information that we want to appear in our vocab list. Once we have done that, we can export our collection and make a spreadsheet, produce a spreadsheet from which we are able then to create a simple Word document that we can then distribute to our students. Now, important as a prerequisite, make sure that all the extra TextFabric features that I've made available both for the Tischendorf app as well as for the BHS app, that you have them loaded. Here are 2 screenshots that show you how to do it, but I'll just show you once again. TextFabric command, it will automatically import these new files and make them available for you. So now I run this and I had these 4 files already available, so I think it's not going to list this. Yes, it's not going to list it here, but basically what it did, it now incorporated the 4 files that we just the Tischendorf app, it will include all those extra files. Okay, good. So we have now loaded TextFabric with all the extra TextFabric features. We are for preparing our data analysis, importing our data analysis tools. So let's do this right now. Okay, and now we get to our first task. So we want to create a vocab list for students that we're working with when translating John 3. So we want to have a vocab list that shows all the vocab of John chapter 3. And we want to, here you see it, we want to list all words that appear less than 10 times. Assume your students have learned all the vocab down to 10 times, so the only extra words they need to learn in order to translate all of chapter 3 are words that appear less than 10 times in the New Testament. So here's our query. So we are looking in the book John, in the chapter 3, for all words that, and here is our new TextFabric feature, frequency lex OG. So word frequency, what this feature does, it contains all the frequencies of each singular word. So I want to show all words that appear less than 10 times in the New Testament. Then I want to see the gloss of it, that would be the English translation. I want to see the lemma of it, the Greek lemma written in Greek font. Then I want to have my transliteration, that's lex OG, and then I also want to have the alphabetic order, that is each word has a certain alphabetic order in the dictionary. I want to pull that information out there as well. So let's run this command. Now you might be saying, hey wait, but all that information that you pulled out is not showing up here. That's right, because I'm now in table view. If I go to show view, it will show that information. You see, now we have the Greek font, Alex Lam, then the frequency, Nicodemus appears 5 times in the New Testament, then the gloss, that's how it's spelled in English, then this is the position in the dictionary, 3363, and this would be the abbreviation, the transliteration. Okay, so we have now all words out of John chapter 3 pulled out with this information, all words appearing less than 10 times. You see, for example, there's no hit for the article ho. The article appears 19,787 times in the New Testament, but we only want those cases that appear less than 10 times. Therefore, it's not going to be picked. All right. Geron is another word that appears less than 10 times, just appears 1 time. So this is the only time here in the New Testament. Old person is the gloss, and so on. So we got all these words now filtered out. What we now have to do is we just have to export our results. So we do this by the export command, nt export. So we're exporting this, and I'll just give it a file name that makes sense to me. So Vocab-List John 3, and I put it here in my local directory. So obviously you will have to change this directory to make it work with your file system on your machine. Okay, so we have now exported our results into Vocab-List John 3. Now we are going to import exactly that list. You see here is our file. Within its file directory, we are going to import this list as a pandas data frame, and we will call that pandas data frame Vocab-List John 3. So we have learned this in our last tutorial, how to import files into a pandas data frame. So let's import it, and here we have our pandas data frame. You see, this is all the information that we wanted to pull out of our query. Remember, frequent lex, gloss, unlex lem, lex og, lex abc, they all show up here. Unlex lem, frequent lex, gloss, lex abc, lex og. Here they are. And obviously we were also looking for book, chapter, and so on. So that's why this information also appears here. Okay, so this is a huge table with many columns. So we are not interested in all these columns. So as a next step, we just want to show this data frame with the columns that we're interested in. And the way how you do it is you say, I want to redefine Vocab-List John 3. So that's Vocab-List John 3 by making it only show what Vocab-List John 3 had in column unlex lam, so this is this one, lex OG3, that's this one, gloss 3, frequency, lex here, and lex ABC. Okay, so let's run this command, and you'll now see we have a nicely cleaned data frame of all the information that we are interested in. So when you look at this, you see that these words do not appear in alphabetic order, right? So Nicodemus appears before Geron, that should be the other way around. Epigeos should be earlier too. Monogenes, that should come later. So let's put this in alphabetic order. So what we're saying is we want to redefine Vocab-List John 3 by doing two things. Oh yeah, you see there's another problem. It's not just not in alphabetic order. You have also words listed twice or three times because John 3 has Nicodemus appear three times. So therefore it's listed here three times. In a vocab list, of course, you only want to show Nicodemus once. So we have two tasks to do. Number one, drop all the duplicates. Instead of three times, we only just want to see Nicodemus once. Second, we want to organize them in alphabetic order. This is what this next cell does. So we want out of the vocab list John 3, we want to drop all duplicates. So Pandas knows, Pandas will now identify all words that appear more than one time, and then everything that appears more than once is cleaned out and only one of those instances are shown. And then as a second command, I want to sort the values, but I want to sort the values according to my dictionary order. That's lex ABC. Okay, so let's run this command. And now you see we have everything nicely in dictionary order. We start with the alpha and we end with the P. So everything is in alphabetic order. You can see this by the increase of the number value, 137 all the way down to 5,116. And you see that Nicodemus shows up only one time, no more three times. This is really what we want. So now we go to the last step, and that is we want to put our vocab list that we just cleaned into a spreadsheet file. So we say to Pandas that we want to have the vocab list John 3, let's call it final, exported into an Excel file. So that we want to put it into an Excel file, and then just give your directory with file name. So now we have done this. So let's go over into where did we store it? We stored it in Fabric Text TF tutorial vocab list. Okay. Here it's pulled out. That's your vocab list. It shows all words that appear less than 10 times in John chapter 3. And from here on, it's obviously an easy task. You just open your word processor that you prefer to work with, and then you could just say, we copy that information into here, and of course let's give this a nice name, Greek. I can delete this, we don't need that one, and English. And now you have a little vocabulary list. Okay, let's do the same for Greek, and sorry, for Hebrew, we want to find all words that appear less than 100 times in the book of Esther. So what we do is we search in the book of Esther in chapter 6, and we are looking for all words that appear less than 100 times in Esther 6. So Esther chapter 6, and here we want to find all words with a frequency less than 100. Want to show the gloss, want to show the dict ball. That's a TF file that I created. It will pull in the dictionary form of each Hebrew word as it appears in the Bible Online Learner. Here it will show you the English translation of each of those words. And then here we have again our alphabetic order. So let's run this. Again, I'm showing here a table, sorry. That's why you don't see all those things appear here. If I would show this, if I would change this into show, then obviously I'm going to now get all that and see all that information. Yeah, here, for example, the word nadada comes from nadat, appears 27 times in the Old Testament, means flee, or the Bible Online Learner gives you the full dictionary entry. In kal, it means run away or flee. In peel, flee away. In hifil, chase away, and so on. Okay, good. So all words are now found that appear less than 100 times in Esther chapter 6. Same procedure. We export that list into TSV file. Then we import it as a pandas file. You see all, as a pandas data frame, you see all these columns now. We only want to show the columns we are interested in. So see here, of Vocab-List Esther 6, we want to show of that data frame only these 4 columns. And then we run the command, and yeah, we have everything we need. Here's our dictionary entry form, Hebrew dictionary entry form. Here's our gloss. Here we have a list of the frequency. This word appears 27 times, this 23 times, biktana 2 times, and then we have our alphabetic order. So again, here we need to do 2 things. We need to drop the duplicates, because I'm quite sure there will be some duplicates. And then we want to sort all words according to alphabetic order. So this is in the next text, this is in the next command cell. Vocab-List 6, Esther 6, please drop all the duplicates. After that, sort all the values according to this column, dict bol ABC. This will list all words in their alphabetic order. Okay, let's run the command. Now all duplicates are deleted, and we have everything in alphabetic order. You see it starts with Aleph and it ends with Taf. Now we export what we have, and just make sure that you remember where you have put it, where you have exported your Excel file. So it will show being opened here. Now you just define again which columns you want to show in your little vocab booklet, and you'll be able to have something like this. Good. So I would say, as an assignment, just create your own vocab list. Identify a passage you want to work with, perhaps that you want to work with your students, or the class that you have to prepare when you teach Greek or Hebrew. Just find something practical and then execute the commands, adapt them to your needs, and produce your own vocab booklet. Okay, I hope that was helpful. See you next time, where we are going to look into the database of both Hebrew and Greek to start building some more sophisticated queries.